Just a quick note on directory paths in the intsvy package. Very often when users of the intsvy package get an error message is because they are not specifying the directory path correctly, if you are using Windows at least. So you will need to specify the directory path, for example, when you would like to tell R where your data is located, let's say where your PISA or Pearls or Teams data is located. Or you might also need to specify the directory path when you would like to produce an output and therefore tell R where this output is going to be stored. In every case, the directory path should be specified in quotation marks. So you always enter in the different operating systems, Windows, Mac, and Linux, and you see from these examples, this is an example for the Pearls data, always the directory path is entered in quotation marks. For Mac and Linux, there is, apart from this, nothing to be aware of, but for Windows, you also need to replace the backslash for the forward slash. So this is most often the mistake that users of intsvy make when they are specifying directory paths. So please keep in mind that this is something that you always need to do. Change the backslash for the forward slash. You could assign the directory path to an object, as I am doing here, file path, and then set the working directory to this file path. So that's one option, and if you do that, then you will no longer need to define the directory path every time when you're using the different intsvy functions. For example, when you are importing data. So if I am importing data from Pearls, then I can just set the working directory to the file path where my Pearls data is located. So this is one option, and even there is an easier option. So for those of you who do not want to bother with backslashes and forward slashes and replacing them, if you are using Windows, you can also in RStudio go to this section of the screen and select the file or the folder. I mean here directly. So for example, in my case, I have the Pearls data located in this folder, and then I can hit on More, Set as Working Directory, and automatically, as you see here, R execute these commands, the Set Working Directory command, and now you are already working in this directory. So if I type get working directory, I will get the directory where my data from Pearls is stored, and the same when I'm using intsvy functions, for example, for importing data, then I won't need to use the argument for the file path, because it will always look into this folder by default.